Hey, you, get off my table. So, I wanted to do this for a very long time, and I think the timing is right. Hi, my name is Susan Elias, and I've been doing a lot of t-shirts lately, and I realized, even though I live in Florida, that the rest of you guys may not live in Florida, and that it's actually cold outside. What I really wanted to do for quite a while now is to make a double-faced, unlined wool and cashmere possibly coat. And I have not tackled it for many reasons, and I think it's time. I really want to have one of these coats. It's an expensive process. It's an unusual seaming that I'm not even really familiar with. So there's going to be a learning curve with me doing this. So I've decided I'm going to do it. Let's see how long it takes, how many sessions of videos it's going to take. But I'm starting the process. And so the process I'm starting with is the beginning stages of thinking about the style, actually the seam application. And there's not a lot out there, guys. There's really nothing on this subject. I mean, you can buy these coats, and when you look at them, if they're the higher level ones, I'm talking about the couture coats, I'm talking about the $1,600 coats and up, not the, $350 ones that are replicas. But the seaming, double-faced wool is exactly what it is. It's two separate fabrics, sometimes the same exact color and fabric, sometimes different colorations, sometimes it's mohair, sometimes it's cashmere, sometimes it's merino, and they are literally sewn together so that both sides of the fabric face is right side, so that it's unlined, there's no facing, there's no lining, but the technique and the style and the design has to be impeccable. Simplicity is the key. So I'm thinking to myself, I want warmth because in the process of traveling, I'm going to need this coat. So I want it to be usable. I want it to have some kind of coverage around the neckline, because my first idea and what you see out there on the websites are these kind of like robe-like ideas. So I brought one of my favorite robes. I thought, all right, let me check this out. Let me see if I can just make a robe style with a tie and be done with it. But then I thought, no, I need a collar, and I don't want it to be that casual. But I understand some of the applications, and I'll get into that, and that is like not having a set-in sleeve with this type of thing, because that application of putting those seams together, it's almost like they call it boiling the seams. It's like a process that's usually done by hand, and it's actually a very couture process. So then I said, okay, then let me use my jacket pattern, and I'm going to play with it. And then I thought, well, a jacket has a certain amount of ease to allow a shirt under, but a coat has more ease that's needed in order to actually have multiple garments and a sweater or something else underneath it. So I even cheated a little bit, or not cheated, and purchased a pattern last night just to see, when I'm mapping out my jacket, if the width is correct for a jacket. And frankly, not liking any of the styles. Obviously, I'm not going to use their style. I'm going to use my own style, but it really wasn't that helpful. And then I thought to myself, what if I want to make it more real high level, like Balenciaga, cocoon shape, or something, very, very haute couture. And then I thought, that might not be very practical, because it probably won't keep me warm if I do the cocoon style. So I'm still kind of figuring it out in my head what I really want to do. Meanwhile, finding the fabric is a whole nother issue, guys. It is very difficult to find. It is hard to bring into the United States because of the duty. So I did manufacture, I'm a fashion designer for how many years, and I used to bring in lace, I used to bring in wool, and I almost stopped doing that because the tariff on bringing lace or wool into the United States, if it has any wool content, is 30%. So what you're finding here locally, or even in New York, or even in Chicago, wherever, or Miami, if I'm going to be searching, is pretty much what they have. And the range of the fabric can range anywhere from about $69 a yard to hundreds, like $700, $800, $900 a yard. So these coats that are selling for $1,600 obviously are produced more than one, so they're getting a better price. But it's not a cheap thing to make. It's not going to be an easy thing to make. But I've already searched online and I've tackled, and I'm getting some samples. Hopefully they'll come in the next day or two from Moo. Meanwhile, I'm going to start figuring out the design and pattern of this garment. So let's figure it out.
Shipping and handling fee of $7.99, and then the tax is $10.01. So your grand total comes up to $152.98.
Gee, all right. I'll give you the card now.
I know.
Okay.
Give me one.
So I posted on Instagram yesterday the picture of the two jackets here. Wanted to kind of get feedback whether you guys really wanted a more classic fit or you want my kind of freehand draping. And it's kind of been split. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do classic but with a better, bigger type of collar and sleeve. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board and work on this pattern now.